Good evening, everybody. It is now 7 p.m. I will call the Tuesday, December 5th, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from November 21st, 2023.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on these minutes?
I thought they looked good.
I did too. I did
Good.
too. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting on November 21st, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence, there was an invitation from Mrs. Juliana George for the Mary R. Fisher Elementary School Winter Concert. She actually sent this to the Board of Selectmen. They will be performing two shows at 9:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. At the auditorium. Concerts will be about 45 minutes long. And the snow date is December 20th. So hopefully you guys can make it. And then business after hours. There is a business after hours with the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow night at Bank Hometown in Putnam. And then this one is for January 24th in Wyndham at Click Wyndham. I don't know what Click is, but apparently it's a business in Wyndham. So 41 Club Road, 5 to 7 p.m. on January 24th. And then we did receive Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. The month of October calls, there were 227 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Of these calls for service, most notable are 7 accidents, 14 investigations, 2 burglaries, 2 larcenies, 202 non-reportable matters. And then in addition to the investigations, troopers conducted the following motor vehicle enforcement. There were no DUIs. There were 39 traffic citations and 23 written warnings. And that's all I have for correspondence. Any correspondence?
I don't think I have anything.
All right. All right, without any other correspondence, we'll move on to selectmen comments. Agenda item 5, selectmen comments.
Okay, just from reading the from the troop, the 2 burglaries bother me. You know, hopefully it's not going to be an uptick.
Right.
Time of the year due to the economy, etc. So best thing that we can do is to, you know, encourage our people in town to make sure they lock the doors, look out for their neighbors and stuff. If they see anything suspicious that's going on, don't fail to call the troop. And the only other, and I know you probably don't know this, just out of curiosity, because they did the traffic citations. Do we, have you ever been let, you know, about the bridges, the canal, and you know, with the 5-ton, have they ever nailed anybody for going over?
I haven't asked, but
If there's a way that we could find out,
sure.
just out of curiosity, because 5 tons on that bridge, and we see tractor trailers and stuff going over it.
Right. Any other selectmen comments?
No, just that and you're probably gonna mention it too, the bonfire tomorrow night.
Oh, yes, Friday night.
Friday night. I'm
Friday
sorry.
night.
I was all set to go tomorrow night. Yeah, the Friday night bonfire for tea. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, there's going to be a small market with crafters. I believe they had 13 crafters last I knew that will be selling their items. Max Catering is going to have his new food truck at Duhamel Pond near the bonfire.
Right.
And then the schools, all 3 of them, are going to have musical entertainment, you know, musical ensembles starting at 4 p.m.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's the first time we're doing this, so I hope it's a huge success.
That's where we had shut down part of the road there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw that they're doing they're having people register their houses for their Christmas lights
Oh, yeah,
this
that's right.
year. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they did that last
They've done it the
year,
last couple.
creating a
years.
map and, yeah,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. So
Yeah, and you could
everybody
vote
knows.
on it and there was, they had done that.
Last 2
previously.
years, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if last year was the first year or the year
I think it
before.
was
It's
the year
happened a
before.
couple of times.
Yeah.
Last year was super successful
Yeah.
though,
Yes.
so, yeah.
So if anybody has any good decorations out, they should definitely register them. There's a
Mhm.
lot of lights I've seen
Yeah.
going through town. It's nice.
Just one more thing as an FYI, the street light going into the Three Rows, that one's right out at the sidewalk there.
Oh, right at the one, at the
Just as
base
you
of
turn
Route
in.
12?
Yeah, right where the bridge is
Okay.
and everything.
Well,
That
there was some
light
issues
is out.
with the lights again, the timer was off
Well,
kilter again.
Yeah, but
and-
that would be permanently on because those are street lights.
Right, right.
Versus
That
the
was
stuff for the
probably the
park.
one that they're contacting Eversource for the part for or something, I'm not positive, but that was reported to me today. I was going to say something about that for you. So. All right, any other selectmen comments? I don't have any because it's a pretty robust agenda and most of what I would share would probably be on the agenda, so.
Sounds good.
All right. Citizen comments, we'll open the floor for citizen comments. We'll start here in the Cine room. Any citizen comments? Okay, virtual audience? Yes, Ms. Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark Elm Road. I'm with Suzanne. It might as well be Friday tomorrow. It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday. Yay on the DUI report. That was nice. I agree with Ken on the burglaries, very concerning. And I've heard that there are causes for concern in town. Certainly we're seeing an uptick here of very strange behavior. The real reason why I am commenting at this point in the meeting is, that I'm over the years, I've been very attentive to following the rules and being transparent. Last night, there was a Trails Committee meeting, which was held, which was not properly posted.
Oh, okay.
And the meeting was held, there are minutes. Apparently there was a Zoom link that didn't work.
Oh,
And the meeting was held in person, but there was nothing on the town website.
okay. I will look into that.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting us know. Any other citizen comments at this time? All right, we will move on to agenda item 7, Animal Control Officer Report for the Animal Control Department. Hey, Erin.
Hello. Where would you like me to start? You want me to just go into it?
Just get right into it.
All right. So some of you may know me. My name's Erin. I'm the Animal Control Officer for the town of Thompson. I've been here since June. It's been a busy 6 months. In the last 6 months, I've impounded 45 animals, 22 of which have been adopted, some of them adopted by town employees. I see one of them actually in the Zoom call. I have one on my lap, also adopted from the town of Thompson. And I've worked on at least 139 complaints. We're still counting. We gained a few awesome volunteers and we're constantly trying to improve the shelter. I've gotten a lot of comments of people stopping by after they've stopped at the transfer station and they've made a comment about how nice it looks. That makes me really happy to hear. Currently, we have 1 cat, 1 dog, 4 kittens who are not available for adoption just yet, but they will be by the end of the month. The licensing compliance has been going back up again. We are over just about 100 animals over what we were last year and the year before. So it looks like we're getting a better compliance going on. We have a shed now. Thank you for planning and development. And Tira, I see Tira's on here. So we can store the extra dog crates and canned food and cleaning supplies in there. We have a fundraising supply bin at Animal Care Experts. They're working with me to collect dog food and toys and blankets. And then Jill, I don't want to ruin her last name, St. Cyr is currently running a fundraising event for gnome crafting. So that's also bringing in a pretty good donation towards the account for our dog fund account. Finance department just helped me open a Venmo account. So now people that can't show up to donate money in person or can't mail a check, they can just jump on Venmo and do a donation that way. So they helped me set that up. What else? Oh, I've been asked to go over individual animals that I've impounded over the last 6 months. Do you want me to go over all of them? I kind of went over that really quickly.
Yeah, I think share whatever is relevant, and I think, well, you go, because I have some questions too.
Yeah. I've noticed in the time that I've been here, I know previously the animal control officer didn't work with cats. We're required by law to help any animals that are sick or injured. That's required, even if it's a cat. And I know that a lot of people that have worked in animal control for a long time didn't work with cats. But I've noticed that the town of Thompson has a significant number of feral cats or injured feral cats, kittens, like some of the one that is on Michelle's picture right there, she was found in the transfer station at like 1 or 2 days old, and we had to trap her mother. And so for 5 or 6 days, they didn't have their mom, so they were being bottle fed by fosters. The one I just held up also is from a feral cat colony. She was there's a very large feral cat colony on Brandy Hill Road. I've collected quite a few cats that have been hit by cars, unfortunately, and they didn't make it. They're also part of the feral cat colonies or unneutered males. Specifically, the last 2 that I picked up were unneutered males. So I've noticed there's just a very large quantity of cats. Some people, I've impounded a couple of dogs. They haven't stayed for very long, like 1 or 2 days, and then they've been claimed and went back home. I've had a couple of animals that have been, from what it appears to be, dumped. Moxie, the golden doodle, nobody ever claimed her. I reached out to Massachusetts Animal Control. They had no reports of a missing doodle, and I had her for probably a month, and still nobody claimed her. So the only assumption we can make is that she was dumped. Timmy has been making his debut through the town hall recently. He has been going with me on my calls. He also comes home with me at nighttime and comes back to work the next day. He was tied to my fence back in July, and nobody ever claimed him, but he's quirky. He has some, I mean, a bunch of people know he's got some personality disorders where I just don't know if he went to a normal home, if that would be something that would work for him. So in the meantime, he's doing great with me. Besides that, I have the whole printout of all of the animals. I just think that we have a lot of cats, like a lot of cats.
I think the one thing that was notable for me, Erin, was the video you showed me, I think it was the cats on Brandy Hill, where all of a sudden they came down off the hill and there was tons of little kittens.
Yeah,
that was a great video.
That was I think we had the trap set for not even 5 minutes. We set up the trap, put the food out there, and I took 20, 30 feet back and stood there and watched the cats just pour down the hill. And it was at least 15. They think they have 17 or 18 cats there. And I think it's just going to continue to increase because we don't have an ordinance to neuter the males and do something about it. And they don't have the funding to pay for all those animals to get fixed. Right. So without the combo, it's just going to be a never ending increase of population. One of the cats that I just picked up on the 13th, it was 13th of November, that cat came, I'm pretty positive, from that colony because it was on that street, just on the other side of a house in between. So I'm pretty sure that I'm just going to keep picking up cats from that area.
Right. And what are some of the statutes that, I wouldn't have known before, before Erin? Cats that are found dead in the road or injured in the road that can't be rehabbed, need to be euthanized or cremated if they were dead, correct?
Yeah.
And that's at the town's expense.
Correct. We have to dispose of the body, and you can't just throw a cat in the trash. It's a domestic animal. You have to have it cremated or buried. And the dog pound or the animal shelter doesn't have the ability to bury all those animals. So they have to get cremated unless somebody claims them and wants to have them cremated or buried themselves.
And you also have to advertise that the cat was found or dog, but similar to the dog, you have to advertise. And did you say the Shopper's Guide now is taking those ads and was it at no cost?
Yeah, the Shopper's Guide is doing it for free as long as it's a small ad. If I were to do a bigger ad, then I have to pay for it.
Okay.
But they're doing it for free. The law requires that we have to put it in the newspaper that distributes within that area. So it covers our area. But it has to be in the paper one time, and you can't do anything with the animal until 7 days later unless somebody claims it.
Right. Right. Those are good to know. Ken or Suzanne, do you have any questions for Erin at this time?
It's good information. Can you give us a breakdown? Not necessarily now, but in your report that you can submit to us. You said 139 cases, it can show there's, so many cats, so many dogs, whether
have
it's
a breakdown.
domestic. Yeah, so that way we can see what trends are going and.
I can give it to you right now. I actually broke it down in preparation in case I was going to get asked that question. As of right now, I have 89 dog complaints, 32 cat complaints, 10 livestock, 6 wildlife, and 8 are other. It could be a homing pigeon. I have a couple random animals that are thrown in there that aren't under those other categories, or chickens. Chickens aren't livestock, so that could be it too.
Right.
That are complaints?
Yeah. I get complaints about chickens. And
No, I mean, all of those are complaints.
those are all complaints.
Case in point, the story of the pigs just recently that were being pig sat, but they wandered off the property and Erin went out and guided them back to their property.
I was with those pigs for an hour and a half to 2 hours waiting for somebody to post on the Facebook to say, I know whose pigs those are, or for somebody to show up. And finally the pet sitters came coming through the woods and we found them. So they did get home, but yeah, we spent about an hour and a half to 2 hours there waiting for something.
Waiting, hoping.
Yep. I am in the process of making a spreadsheet that's going to, hopefully I can collect data just by driving by, but collect data as to where there's horses or cows or sheep, those types of animals. So that way, when I get a call in the future, I'm not sitting there waiting for somebody to call. I can say, well, on this street, I know these 3 houses have pigs, and I can figure out somewhere where these pigs belong. And that's what I'm working on now.
Yeah, pigs, horses, cows, whatever you might get a call about. Yeah, that's smart.
Have we been able to deal with any of the repeat offenders? I don't know if there isn't any. I mean, sometimes we get certain animals that seem to get out all the time, or that are, that cause issues. And I'm sure there may be, I don't know the laws,
I don't either.
that there's actions that we can take to ensure that.
How do you handle the repeat offenders, Erin, and have there been many?
It depends on the animal itself. So I usually give a warning notice the first time with a written warning. And if it continues or if it causes danger to people, then I skip the warning and I go straight to giving them an infraction. They can get an infraction for a roaming animal, or if the animal's not up to date on licensing, and I always follow up, I give them a compliance date of 2 weeks typically. But if it continues to happen, then they just get infractions and then they can pay that with the court.
That would be good information to know. We don't need to know who it is,
Right.
but that we issued X number of infractions,
Right.
which gives more of a detail what
How
she's
many were
involved
second
with,
offenders? Yep, all of that.
that.
Erin, I could not be happier with the job that you're doing. I think you're doing a great job, and
Thank you.
Dog Pound is near and dear to my heart. So I'm glad to see that you've really taken the ball. You run with it. You made huge improvements in the Dog Pound and made it a very professional position. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you aware of anything going on with the feral cats? I know that NECOG had dealt with that and gotten a grant to get some of them
Trapped, neutered,
trapped and
released.
neutered and released again. I don't know, through your network, if your counterparts are experiencing the same things, that, you know, maybe it may be a time to see if we can get more money to try and, you know, deal with that, population explosion.
Right.
You know,
So
with your
po-
statistics, it's, you know, when others doing it, it definitely can help maybe free up some money.
Paws Cat Shelter helps a lot with the ferals, especially in our area. But the problem is that they only received 10 vouchers for the entire fiscal year from the state to get those cats spayed or neutered. And we have way more than 10 in one location. So it's going to be hard for Paws to be able to continue to help me. They have helped me with at least 3 or 4 of the cats that I've picked up that have been sick or injured. I picked up one cat that was extremely pregnant and shouldn't have been outside. And I helped out with that one, and Paws spayed her, and we did release her back to the same house, and that woman still takes care of that cat. But the problem with it is that we don't have an ordinance. So technically the cat could belong to somebody, and for me to be taking cats from outside and getting them fixed to lower the population, even though I'm helping out, that could be somebody's pet, and therefore I'm altering somebody's property, and I can't do that without the ordinance. So I can help as long as the person's taking ownership. I'm the owner or keeper of this animal, and I've been feeding it for X amount of months. But it's a whole nother thing for me to help out with just random cat colonies and just grabbing cats, because it could be somebody's indoor outdoor cat. That's, you know, technically they're doing the irresponsible thing and increasing the population, but that I can't do anything about it unless it's sick or injured.
Because cats are allowed to roam,
Yeah, they are.
Cats are allowed to roam.
so.
I don't know how NECOG had gotten them. You know,
Yeah.
the-
You're
that they
thinking
had
maybe
to,
there's a grant someplace,
that's what because that had to be,
That's a
it's over
possibility.
5 years ago.
right?
Well, I think
That they had, where they had gotten money and they were trapping in, you know, known feral cat areas
Hmm.
and getting them.
I think we could get a large amount of donations, especially with Pod's help, to get the cats fixed. I just don't have the ability to do it unless they're sick or injured. That's
Mhm.
why I was trying to suggest an ordinance in the past, is because if I have that ordinance, then we can lower the population, and then we don't have this problem as much. I just don't have that paperwork to state I can do this, and then I can get the funding from donations or from Paws to do that.
Yeah, people are generous about
Yeah,
the animals.
But
They are.
going back to the NECOG thing, I don't know how John Filchek had gotten
Right,
the grant or whatever.
well, it's probably
It's-
something that opened up and then they just haven't
Correct,
revised
so
it.
maybe it's
but-
an avenue to look back and see.
Or maybe the Humane Society, or I don't know.
There's- Bob Barker used to have something.
They used to have
Yeah.
a grant?
No, he used to have his whole foundation
Oh, right,
that was dedicated to spaying and neutering animals. Yeah,
yeah,
it might be something that we could look into.
and maybe team up with Paws.
Yeah, I just have to figure out how to do it and not get myself in trouble in the animal control world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's my only
I
problem.
definitely would reach out to John to see how they did what they did back then.
Okay.
any other questions for Aaron?
No. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. All right, don't go too far, because we're gonna be talking about fees and fines, or fees, mostly fees.
I won't go very far.
Question for you. All right, so the next thing on the agenda is the fee and fine schedule. As I sent to you, there was a poll, and Jamie is on the Zoom. The Zoom call as well. Jamie had made proposals for the fire marshal fees to see an increase. Marla Butts had wanted us to adjust the fee and fine schedule and remove the inlands wetlands fee that was there because it's inaccurate and it's going to be part of the regulations. And it varies based on whatever the wetlands permit is. So it's not just $110. So she suggested that it just be removed entirely. Our animal control officers is recommending and requesting that we add a dog and cat redemption fee. As she stated, sometimes dogs are found or even cats are found and they stay in the shelter for a day or two or three. So when the owner came to reclaim their animal, it would be $15 fee for reclaiming and then a daily boarding fee if it applied. And this was all allowed under Connecticut General Statutes 22-3333. So daily cat redemption is $15 and, dog and cat redemption is $15. Daily boarding fee would be $15 per day. It can't be any more than that. And then the building office is recommending the following, re-inspection fees for solar installation contractors and all others at $50 and $100.
While we have Aaron on,
Mhm,
your dog and cat redemption fee, currently we get nothing.
correct.
That is correct. And the daily boarding fee also would apply for quarantines if the dog has to be quarantined at the shelter or a cat needs to be quarantined at the
So
shelter.
that'd be, it's if the dog bit somebody or they
Correct.
have to be quarantined.
Yes.
And we currently don't get anything.
Correct.
How long is the quarantine period?
10 days.
Have you, what is the longest you've kept an animal that you found that someone has claimed?
For a stray animal,
Yes.
2 to 3 days. I think it was
So
2
not
days.
that long.
The quarantine, though, I have had a dog in quarantine for 10 days, and I had to come in every single day because I'm the only one that's rabies vaccinated.
And the ones that have been quarantined have all been reclaimed or whatever,
Correct.
but that was before there was a fee.
Correct.
I'm just playing, just asking questions. I understand, it cost us to run it and so forth without a doubt. I'm just hoping that that we don't start the abandonment process even further because people just don't have money.
I mean,
It's a double-edged sword. I'm just playing a little advocate.
Is this up to the discretion of the ACO?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody needed to make payments to get their dog out of jail or that kind of thing, would
Well,
that
it's
be
not-
up to the discretion of you?
yeah, it's not required by state law that we have to charge people. However, every animal control officer that I know charges these fees because they're in the general state statute. However, if the person says, no, really, I can't afford it, I don't even have a car, that type of scenario, I could waive the fee. But if it's, just this dog is loose every other week and they're picking up their dog for free and they just stays the night at the shelter every night, and all I can do is give them a ticket, which doesn't go to the town, it goes to the state. So we're just spending time collecting this dog over and over again for the town to get nothing back in return, except for they get a ticket that goes to the state.
No, the only thing that you could run into a problem, where you were saying a payment plan or whatever, or waive the fees. You'd have to have some policy or guidelines that would dictate how you would do that, because somebody could say, I'm being treated unfairly versus somebody else.
Right. I mean, I think
know,
Aaron has.
I'm not arguing because it definitely costs us.
Right, no, I think Aaron's experienced where people just unload their animals. Like Moxie, Timmy. So this is a different scenario. If someone's going to come and claim their animal. I don't see this as being an issue. It's not like when we discussed the surrender.
And 2 or 3 days is not as severe on the pocketbook as a 10-day isolation, a dog that's having to be quarantined. So that was more of what, could lead to, can I pay half now and half in
Right.
a couple of weeks kind of thing.
Right. Sure.
But I think isolation, did I say it wrong? Quarantine, isolation.
It's the quarantine. But in a way though, if the dog is being quarantined, if you think about it, it's because the owner was being negligent in a way. The dog went and bit somebody. The dog went and attacked somebody. There's no repercussions besides having their dog taken away for 10 days, which isn't even 100% required. It's pretty rare that I actually have to quarantine a dog in the shelter because it has to be expired on its rabies vaccine entirely. in order for that to happen. It's not like if the dog's up to date on rabies and bites somebody or scratches somebody, then it could just stay at home. But if it's expired on its rabies, so the person didn't do their vaccines, dog's not licensed, and the dog went and attacked somebody, that's when the dog would end up in my shelter for 10 days.
Okay,
You know, it's, to me, it's kind of like, you know, a $15 fee for 10 days. We could have prevented all these things from happening.
Yeah.
so how are we approaching this?
Well,
I just would like to state really quickly that I have heard from every person that I've impounded their dog that has previously had their dog impounded. They told me that they were getting a fee that was higher than the $15. That is not general state statute.
mhm.
So that's my only statement. There was not written down anywhere. There was random numbers. I'm just stating they were already getting charged fees. Just this one is actually what the law book says.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So did we?
I would
have
say
a-
so we can continue more discussion. Let's just make, maybe, I would make a motion, since I sent you the email that presented the fire marshal changes, the inland wetlands fee removal, and the recommendation of animal, unless you want to do each one on its own.
I'm fine with doing it that way, unless you're, go ahead and make the motion and
Okay,
I'll
so-
second it.
I'll make a motion that we adjust the fee and fine schedule as proposed and outlined in the email that was presented to the board. Is that a good enough?
No, can you list the,
Yeah,
for
so
the
that would
AC
include.
the ACO's recommendation, the
Yeah.
building officials'
Okay,
recommendation?
so I'll make a motion that we adjust the fee and fine schedule to approve the fire marshal's recommended changes for 2024, and there's numerous. The removal of the inland wetlands fee. The animal control recommendation of the dog and cat redemption fee at $15 and the daily boarding fee at $15 per day. And the building office recommendation for reinspection fees at $100 for solar installation contractors and $50 for reinspection for all others. I make that motion.
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay, now we can have discussion, more discussion. I did want to say that John Nolly wanted to make it. He's our assistant building official. He wanted to make it tonight, but couldn't. He did send me an email to share. He says, I will not be able to attend the selectmen's meeting. I would like to just verify my proposal for reinspection fees and special account information that we spoke about. Part of what he's asking for has to go to the Board of Finance, I think, for approval, but you can let me know, because this is what he's proposing. The building department would like to add reinspection fees to our existing fees as follows. Solar inspections, $100 per reinspection, and general inspections, $50 per reinspection. They spend an awful lot of time going back and forth when they get a call for inspection and it's not completed. And so he continues, we would like to add these fees to build up to a $20,000 emergency fund that would stay with the building department in a separate account that would be used for the following. And that's where I think the Board of Finance would have to approve. But this is why he wants it. When we have to relocate, the relocation of families and or individuals in emergency situations, it's happened twice in the last 2 years. To secure vacant homes or businesses deemed unsafe, whether they had a fire or condemnation or et cetera, and that we would be boarding up the buildings. Any and all issues that fall under the building department's responsibility required by both state and local regulations. The fees requested will help lessen the financial burden on the town's responsibilities in these matters and enable the building department to do its job more efficiently. Should the account reach the requested $20,000 goal, any additional funds that are raised based on reinspection fees requested would be available for other town expenses. Over the past 15 months, I have been working part-time for the town, and these fees would have generated approximately $3,700. And then he said, feel free to contact if you have any questions. So I understand if there's a fee associated with them going up, it's just, he's told me he spends so much time re-inspecting, showing up on the solar site, and it's not complete. It's not ready for inspection. And it's frustrating, and he thinks this would help deter the contractors from calling for inspections before the projects were ready to be inspected.
Just to
So-
clarify, we are not voting
We-
on opening an account. We
No.
are voting on,
Just
the
the fees.
reinspection fees.
Yeah, but I wanted to share that that was his idea behind it. But that, correct me if I'm wrong, falls on the Board of Finance. If anything
believe
like
so.
that were to be set up.
Yeah.
Bill's shaking his head.
Yeah, because other than that, money goes back into the general.
It
fund.
does,
Exactly.
right.
Which is fine too. So. So those are the, those are the recommendations.
His fees for the $100 for the solar installation contractors, 50 for all others.
50, all others would be the homeowners who might have contractors working for them. He's
So
a
they're
little
not
bit
getting-
heavier handed on the solar contractors because they really should know. It's pretty cut and dry, I think. And I think it's been the most egregious with the solar contractors.
Well, any of the licensed contractors, I would hold them to a higher standard. You know, to get this stuff done. We do have sometimes inspections that'll go out where any one of us could be doing our home repair. We're not contractors. We're doing it the best we can. And you know,
But these are
penalizing.
reinspection, not initial.
Not the initial
Yeah.
inspection, just
Correct.
the if
Okay.
I have to go out there again. Not me. It's the building
Yeah.
official.
Right. Okay.
And it's been it happens.
Well, no,
more than
like I
you
said, a
know.
contractor I'm easy with
Right.
because they know their trade.
Mhm.
And they should be having that conversation with the building official, they're being a licensed contractor. They should be on the same page, what he expects and know what to do.
Right,
I'm more concerned with the average homeowner that may not,
Mhm.
that shingled his own roof. And, or put in a window and our building official, they didn't do it 100%, but
Mhm.
they're not on the same wavelength and,
Right.
We have to guide them a little bit more. That's my concern there.
Right.
So with the fire marshal, some of these fees, I'm wondering if we've ever even used,
Jamie,
had to claim, like a theater.
he's on. Jamie, okay. Is that-
Yeah, I'm here. A lot of them we don't use, but they're in there just in case all of a sudden somebody decides to build a theater in our town or another occupancy that is something we don't have. So at least we already have it in the ordinance, and we don't have to revisit it.
Hotels, yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
It's kind of a blanket ordinance that all the towns have. So they pretty much cover the same items.
Are these inspections that have to be done yearly?
So there's actually an inspection schedule based on the type of occupancy. So stuff like apartment buildings, educational assemblies, daycares, those type of facilities. There's actually quite a few that are annually, but then there's others that are every 2 years, every 3 years, and every 4 years. And actually, since Paula started, we actually are working on a new system for 2024 for our inspection process. She has taken all the occupancies within our town, and we've identified what they are, what they're classified as, and we're going to be starting to work further into our inspection process on a lot of these occupancies that we really haven't been able to get into. We also created a new inspection form that's a 3-part form. That one part is going to the person we do the inspection, one part is going to the building office, and the other part is going to our office. And the purpose of that is so Paula and or Donna can, it includes the fee on that form. So it allows us to properly bill out for those inspections in a more organized fashion.
That's good. When was the last time the fees were increased? Do you know?
We haven't
2 years.
Longer than that.
we haven't increased them since we implemented the fees. Was
That's
that
Sorry, Jamie, I interrupted you.
I think we haven't increased them since we implemented them. Was that in 2020 that we implemented them?
Was it 2020? Because I felt like it was 2018 or 2019.
I
Weren't you
don't
selectmen?
think I was on the board then, so it's
Right.
gotta be at least 4+ years.
It-
I thought it was when I was on the board with Steve that we first,
I believe it was the three of us.
yeah, it was us.
Yeah.
Us?
Hmm.
I,
Well-
I think I took over in January of 2018, sorry, 2019, and then by 2020 we had the fees out.
2020 was COVID. I don't remember doing that.
No,
So it must have been just before.
Just before, I think.
So then it would have been me, you and Steve.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing it. That's why I was
But
asking.
I remember
Not
Steve
that I remember
questioned it,
everything.
Jamie. Steve said it was, that you weren't charging enough.
Yeah, and it's been like I said, it's been a few years, so we haven't increased at all. And we know obviously with everything else, everything's increased.
What is, do you know off the top of your head, maybe this is a question for Bill, what the revenue is annually? For
Last year I brought in $6,100.
6,100, okay, so not a huge
And-
amount.
Not a huge amount, and we're actually with the increase of the fees and with actually having Paul in the office to streamline things a little better, I think we're going to do a lot better coming up.
A lot better, meaning you'll be able to get to more inspections?
Yeah, more inspections, and also we're going to start just like with the building department. We weren't billing out for on a constant basis. I'm out, meeting with contractors, meeting with business owners because they'll have a question, about certain things. So we're spending time driving out to these properties and meeting with them time and time again. And we haven't been charging them other than their normal inspection fee. So we're going to start billing out those times as well.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other comments? I'm thinking on the reinspection fees, Ken, that when it says for all others, I mean, it could be for all other contractors to take the burden off of the homeowner that might not be experienced at doing a renovation. So licensed contractors, like you said, should know
Mhm.
what building code is.
Right.
So when they call for.
Well, the $100 one is that's strictly,
So.
that spells right out solar,
Yeah,
right out.
so
the bat.
this one could be for all other contractors, contractor work, or is my thought. Because we certainly don't want to punish homeowners that are just trying to improve their building that might not be at first in code.
Yeah, that they have to get a building permit and
And then pay re-inspections and.
and they are paying some fees,
Right.
just to get the building permit
Yeah.
on top of it.
Jamie, one more question.
Yes.
These are not anything that follows state statute. These are town set fees.
Exactly. State statute states that a town can set an ordinance to set fees for certain things. So statute allows us to, but we the only way we can do it is through ordinance, which we have in town.
Okay,
The only thing that's set in the state statute is the blasting fee. It's right in the blasting regulations that it can only be $60 for every blasting permit.
okay. That's good.
Yeah, the question with the email. Because if you go back to and I'm just quickly going back through it, miss no show. They have a penalty for that, which was going from 25 to 50. If they,
Which one are you looking at?
that's on the last page,
For Jamie's? Or on the fee and fine schedule?
on all of our fee and fine schedule, the last page. Because it says fire marshal's getting 35 per hour. Et cetera. And you got the open burning permits for 30 days. Then it says miss no show inspection fee. So that would be for Jamie.
Yes.
That would be the fire marshal. That would be a fee that would be paid to the office.
Yes,
So that's one that you schedule an appointment, and they fail to show.
Correct. When they call and they want me to do an inspection, I show up and nobody's there. So we charge them a missed or no show fee. And the $35 an hour, that's just for private event fireworks shows.
No, I
What we
just,
do.
I was just trying to show in the fee schedule we were talking about.
Has there ever been a time, Jamie, when it's been a hardship for someone to pay the fees?
No, because I mean, my inspections are based off of commercial properties. I don't do residential. I don't do 1 and 2 family. So the people that I'm dealing with is multifamily apartment buildings that they're the owners, or business owners, and you know, a lot of times they need our inspection in order to get their liquor license or other certifications. Like daycares need my authorization in order for them to operate on an annual basis.
Okay.
all right, so there's currently a motion on the floor. Any other discussion?
Yeah, the only question I have on this that we didn't get an answer
Mhm.
was on the $50 for all others.
Right,
And that was, you know, an addendum that came, you know, after, you know, this other schedule. So that'd be my, for clarification, exactly who's affected by that one.
well, who do you want it to be affected by?
No, I'm just saying, so I mean,
Oh, I know,
you know,
but
for
would
the,
you say, I mean, if we've discussed that we don't want it to be people like that are doing their own work, then it should just apply to contractors.
no, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, because the first one says for solar, is that,
So you're looking for a definition.
yeah, I'm just looking for what that
General
actually means.
inspections.
that's all.
So he's termed it in his memo, general inspections, $50 per re-inspection. Solar inspections and then general inspections is how he termed it. So that would be any other inspection.
I forget what the breakdown is on the building fees. I think it's 26 cents goes to the state or something. That number rings a bell.
He's
not
got it listed under re-inspection fees, $50
Well,
for,
but
so
it's-
it sounds to me
So
like
it's
as if
the
he has to go out again.
inspection, every time he goes out for a re-inspection.
Right,
it'd be $50.
right.
Yeah, for just every other.
Any other
inspection
inspection
through the building.
that's not solar.
Yeah.
That's.
It's
for-
only the first inspection is free, it's complimentary. It's part of the building official's process. But every time they have to go out for re-inspections because something was done haphazardly. Or wasn't
Or
completed at
wasn't
all.
completed to code, then
Right.
they charge a second. I mean, I'm fine with moving forward with this, and then if we could get a more defined answer on it,
Mhm.
we could always vote on it again to remove it.
Yeah, if we get a clarification. When would this go into effect? Jamie, when do it go into effect?
Well, mine are currently in effect, so I mean, we can change whenever you guys feel that this will be necessary. But I think we would have to give time to the people that we can give notice that there was an increase for our fees.
That an increase is coming. Whether it's the first of the year, or that's why I'm just asking if
Right.
this would go into
Right,
effect.
no.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
January 1,
That's what I would,
that would give.
You remember how long we gave him the last time, Jamie, way back?
I think once we had the meeting, I think it was a couple of months before we actually implemented the inspection fee. You know, just because I think we sent notices out to people, especially like apartment building owners, because we sent out a thing saying that this is what we're going to start doing, and that was the start of our inspection process. So we kind of gave notice to people, and when people were calling for inspections for like their liquor license, we were telling them, it's gonna cost you, this amount of money now because we've implemented this fee schedule. And I think we might have put it in the selectmen's notice that the fee schedule was being implemented.
Mhm. So January 31.
Yeah, that they all go into effect, that's.
Sure.
I mean, on my end, the increase really isn't a significant increase. It's more of a cost of living increase. So it's not like it's it's not like doubling. It's just a small percentage.
I can see a need for some of it going into effect as soon as possible.
I think it's okay to give some heads up, some notice, gives us a chance to, even on the dog and cat redemption fee, to let people know that these are the fees if your dog or cat is found roaming and ends up in the hands of animal control. Or gives them a chance to let the contractors know that, hey, starting January 31st or February 1st, let's say, for February 1st, these are gonna be reinspection fee costs. Give everybody proper notice. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, because we're looking at about 6 weeks.
Yeah,
So, I would like to amend my motion to include that these fees, the increases for the fire marshal, the removal of the wetlands agent would be immediate. The dog cat redemption fee, the daily boarding fee, and the reinspection fees would all go into effect beginning February 1st, 2024.
do you need me to give you a second on the amended?
Amended.
Yes, second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this?
And we'll get just that
Clarification,
clarification on.
yeah.
All in favor of the motion as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good. We'll add those to the fee schedule. Next agenda item, potential town meeting. For discussion purposes, I'm going to make a motion that we send to town meeting. Or that we call a town meeting for Monday, December 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of acquiring from Vernon and Julie Butler one parcel of land located on Sandam Road and East Thompson Road for $5,000. The land will be used for the Great East Thompson Trainwreck Memorial Park. And then to enter into an agreement for the assignment of certain real property tax liens associated with 915 Riverside Drive and 929 Riverside Drive. I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Open for discussion. We've been talking about the purchase, so that's kind of cut and dry.
Yeah, and that's coming out of grant funding.
Correct.
And yep. I was moving that one forward to the town meeting.
Okay, the second one is for the assignment of the real property tax liens by sale to John Gumpert and the River Mill Development Court.
So he's buying the tax lien.
Correct.
And he's asking to make payments over whatever years.
Until he actually
Until he-
acquires, the moment he acquires title to the property,
It's paid in
it's
full.
paid in full. And the taxes are kept up from the point of the agreement on. So.
Okay.
So it's a settlement of the two.
Yeah, then he starts paying the annual,
Yes,
our annual
Okay.
property taxes.
Okay,
I read all of this.
I did too.
I did it several
And-
times.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
it's a lot here.
Yeah,
And
it is a lot. And
we definitely need to get this out to the public
Yeah.
ahead of time because it's such an in-depth read.
Mhm.
I read it a couple times. The question that I have
Mhm.
is we're talking the tax lien with two entities. One is the sewer department.
The sewer department is going to, I talked to Slater about that today. The sewer department is going to potentially enter into its own agreement with
oh,
Gumper.
But that was my question because we have two
Yes.
entities that is delinquent.
That have liens.
One is for actual taxes.
yes,
And the other one is for usage fees.
Correct.
And this is just for the actual taxes.
This is for
and
the
that will
actual
be
real
separate.
estate taxes. The WPCA will be a separate agreement entirely.
Okay,
So right
Got it.
down to deciding going forward, how many units he'll be paying for in the mill, because when we get to it later on, the agreement for the abatement lists that the sewer taxes will be paid, but currently he's getting charged 21 units.
and he may be using 2 or 3 if that.
Right. Yes,
And there probably should have been an adjustment. It could have
a
been
while ago,
quite a
a
while
long
ago.
time ago.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's because the place is vacant.
Yeah, I had that same question, and
Yeah.
it's going to go through a separate agreement between
Okay.
River Mill and WPCA outside of the real estate taxes.
Because that will still be hanging out there as well.
So that is the basic gist of it.
I'm not available on the 18th.
Oh, you know?
No. I have
The
another
attorney
commitment.
will be correct.
Yes, absolutely.
I have another
Yes.
commitment
Yeah. Okay.
that I have committed to a while ago, so, yeah,
Are you comfortable with us moving forward with the meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
sure. I mean, yeah,
But yes, I have made sure that the Attorney Slater would be available.
I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of
Oh,
questions,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Any other discussion?
no, and this is, what was your motion again? I'm sorry. To move
That
this
we
to
move
town-
We said
town
it's a town
meeting,
meeting.
The town meeting,
both
yes,
the Butler
okay,
property purchase and then the agreement for the assignment of certain real property tax liens associated with 915 and 929 Riverside Drive. Okay.
Yep.
All right, all in favor of moving to town meeting on December 18th, 2023, say aye.
I,
Aye. Oh, no, I was thinking we were moving on to the budget workshops, but we're not there yet. The agreement regarding, I'm sorry, agenda item 10. Distribute town meeting and or referendum informational flyers at the transfer station. What does the board wish to do? If you wish for us to hand out informational flyers, letting people know that the town meeting is occurring on the 18th at the transfer station, we need to approve it at tonight's meeting. I don't know what your thoughts are.
so I'll
Is
make
it
a motion that we
Yeah.
distribute, just so we have it on the table, we can always take it back, but to distribute information regarding the this is for this
Town meeting,
particular
yes.
town meeting,
Yeah.
yes, for the town meeting on December 18th at the transfer station.
I'll second your motion. Up for discussion.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the content, if we got it up on the website, even on the flyer. Put a link telling people, go to the, the town site, you can download the information.
Yeah.
Because to print out 47 pages of something
Yeah,
and start handing that out, it's just.
Yeah.
It makes no,
right.
So I
So
think,
make sure that we have the link
Yeah.
there so people can
yes,
find the
The
copy of
copy.
the agreement.
yes.
yeah, whatever's gonna be
Both
talked
agreements,
about that
yes.
night that they actually. To make sure that, because, and it should be encouraged on it, please go to,
Yes,
because of the fact that. It's 47, well, it isn't 47, but
what is it? I think it's only 7.
17, 18 pages,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's a lot of printing and,
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And when you have the flyer made up, if you send it to Ken and I in
Sure.
an email, so we have it prior to it going out, would be
Got it. And we'll probably do it. We'll go this weekend and the
ASAP
following
because,
weekend. Yep.
yeah,
We'll get that put together and send it over for your approval. All right, any further discussion on the topic of distributing town meeting informational flyers for December 18th at the transfer station? All in favor of approving the distribution of the material at the transfer station, say aye.
hi,
Aye. And that passes. All right, the agreement regarding real property tax assessment abatement for the 929 River Mill project. This is what the VAD ordinance was really meant to achieve. And this is the proposal as we knew it was going to be. The assessed value, for the first, after the completion, first of all, let me jump back. It sets a defined date of 10 years from this month. So that there would be certificate of occupancy for the real property on or before December 31st, 2033. And then from that point, the abatement kicks in. Up until that point, the developer is just staying up current with the taxes. For the first 10 years, there will be no increase in the assessment except for what might occur during revaluation. So if the assessment increases due to revaluation, so will the taxes. But there will be no increase in that time based on the work that was done, the improvements, the development that was done at the property. During the next 5 years, so from years 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, it'll be base value, but plus 25% of the increased assessed value. And then in the next 5 years, years 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 shall be the base value plus 50% of the increased assessed value. And then the real property assessment for the 16th grand list year following the completion date in the next succeeding 4 years, so the next 5 years, years 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 shall be base value plus 75% of the increased assessed value. And then in the 26th grand list year, it will come to its true value. And again, there is allowances for revaluation during that time, which could increase the base value. And that's the basic gist of this agreement. And again, this agreement is meant to appease his investors. We've all been to the town meetings where this has been discussed at length.
So tell me how this process works for this agreement to be put in place.
It's based on the VAD ordinance, the vacant,
Yes.
abandoned, and delinquent, which already specifies that the Board of
Oh,
Selectmen
okay.
makes the decision.
Oh, so it does not go through Board of Finance, doesn't go to a town meeting.
No,
It is our decision.
it's exclusively our decision. Currently on the grand list, the property is valued at $1,892,300. As of October 1st, 2023, and the assessed value is $1,280,510. Just because that's the current. And in the coming revaluation, it could be increased.
Yeah.
So the base value will fluctuate.
And we're not voting on this tonight, right?
If you don't want to vote on it tonight.
I'm not sure I'm ready to vote on this yet. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing some numbers on it, what it looks like.
But I've given that to you guys.
Did you give it to us?
Yeah, a long time ago, but
A long
I'll
time
give it
ago.
again.
Oh, you could just resend it
I'll resend it.
so that I can refresh.
Yeah.
And there's no reason that we have to vote on it tonight, right? There's no deadline or anything. We can look at it in 2 weeks or.
Well, our next meeting is the 19th.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, place has been empty for 13 years. What's another?
What's another
Another
2
2
weeks?
weeks.
There you go. I just wanted, you know, how I kind of like to digest things and have the whole picture in front of me.
No problem. I will send you, which Paul had reviewed, but I sent it to you probably over a year ago.
Okay,
So I'll resend
I
it
might
to
have
you.
it in my email.
That's okay. That's okay. It'll be tough to find. All right, so I'll take my motion. I'll take back my motion unless there's further discussion.
I just want another 2 weeks to look at it and have that information in
I'm
front of
good
me.
with that.
Okay. All right, so I'll take back my motion. Who had the second?
10.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll resend it.
All right, we will put it back on the agenda for the, thank you.
19th. Thank you.
You're
Thanks.
welcome, no problem. All right, budget workshop. Agenda item 12, budget workshops proposed change. Bill, do you want to explain that? Okay, so this
Did
is,
we get something on it?
no,
Okay,
nothing.
okay.
So following last year's budget process, we sat down and kind of took a look at the process and we're sort of brainstorming about ways to try to improve it. And one of the ideas that we came up with was we really took a look at the Board of Selectmen meetings that happened to formulate the Board of Selectmen budget. And then the initial meetings that happen for the Board of Finance when they're focusing on the town budget. This is excluding anything to do with the Board of Ed. And as we were kicking it around, one thing we noticed was that we were kind of joking that it sort of felt like Groundhog Day, that we would have the Board of Selectmen meetings and we would have the directors come in and present their budgets. And then 2 weeks later, we would have the same exact meetings with the Board of Finance, and very often the same folks would come in, or they might not be available. And specifically in some instances, what I noticed was very often we might get the outside agencies to come in for the Board of Selectmen, but maybe they wouldn't be on board to come in a second time for the Board of Finance. So the proposal that we're kind of presenting to the board tonight, and we would hope to present to the Board of Finance, if you guys agree, would be sort of to invite the Board of Finance to come to the Board of Selectmen meetings.
The workshops.
The workshops, when you are developing the Board of Selectmen proposed budget, so that they could hear the information directly from the directors. They would have an opportunity to ask questions of the directors. The Board of Finance at that point, in my opinion, wouldn't be discussing any cuts or additions to the budget. That would solely be the purview of the Board of Selectmen at that point, because you guys are still developing that budget. The hope of all this would be that once you guys finalize the Board of Selectmen proposed budget, and that moves to the Board of Finance, that those initial Board of Finance meetings would sort of hit the ground running. And at least in theory, they would be more well-informed discussions. So what I would picture is, if I were a Board of Finance member and I'm sitting in on these meetings, I'm taking my notes and I say, okay, you know, that finance department, I want to ask Steglitz a question about this line. So I jot that down in my notes. Then fast forward to when we're actually having the Board of Finance meetings. And that item, I have all the background information on the finance budget, but I have a targeted question to get to the bottom of, or a cut or an addition to discuss. So
Yeah, because
Amy's-
hopefully, sorry to interrupt, but hopefully they've already asked all their questions.
Right.
Because we may not get the directors back.
right,
They might
but
not.
they
be
would
at-
have the opportunity to ask the questions
Mhm.
in the Board of Selectmen meeting. Now, you guys ask a ton of questions in those meetings already. So you may already ask some of the questions that they would ask. However, they would have an opportunity to have direct access to those folks. The other element of this is that Amy is taking a look at this calendar. And the other change here would be, if you guys probably remember, we had multiple instances where, you know, we had Rini in to discuss the tax department budget, and we slotted 45 minutes to do it, and we got through it in 10 because he came in with a lower
Yeah.
budget. And then we pressed pause and we hung out for 45 minutes until the next one. The proposal this time would be to try to do this in 4 Board of Selectmen meetings, 3 hours a whack. And
In the
so you
evenings.
would schedule the directors to come in, and you'd have to be there to present your budget. So if you're last in line, you're hanging around for 3 hours. It would be a hybrid meeting, because we have some folks who only like to do live meetings. So Amy and I would be here with anyone who wants to come here. 6 o'clock at night was
Yep.
the idea we were kicking around,
6 to 9.
Yep,
6 to 9.
yep.
So four
like
3-hour meetings. Hybrid, it increases transparency to the public because it's well, I guess, I don't know if it increases, but it maintains the same level of transparency. Because you have it on Zoom, so it's accessible to everybody. It's at 6 o'clock, which I think is generally more available to folks who are working during the day. And it's also, I believe, we would have it recorded.
Right.
So if folks wanted to go back and listen to, hey, you know, what's going on with the finance department budget, they could go back and listen to that meeting.
Mhm.
But it really, for me as the finance guy, what I feel benefits us here. One thing that kind of keeps me up at night is in situations where we have a contentious budget debate, and we go through 2 or 3 referendums. The problem is when you start getting into more and more referendums, you start delaying the printing and distribution of the property tax bills, which obviously has a very negative effect on the town's cash flow. This, hopefully, if it works out well, would compress that timing and give us some more time to work with. And potentially even move the ordinance right now. I think Amy, you had mentioned that the ordinance says we have to do that. The town meeting on the first Monday in May or something.
I think it is, yeah,
That's what we changed it to.
right.
But if this works, there would be the potential to say, have the town meeting no later than the first Monday in May, so that if this works. And I'm reviewing this year as sort of a test run, because I know, this is the budget process, it's been long established. I think it's just an opportunity to get some efficiency and make better use of people's time. If we could then change that ordinance to say, hey, if you get your budget done more timely, you could move your town meeting up. And then you could go to a vote and things could.
That ends up as an ordinance change.
Right.
Yeah.
But we wanted
And
to,
that's sort of down the road.
yeah, we want to test it out at least
Right.
probably 2 budget cycles, but ideally, so we crunched the numbers, 4 meetings at the most, 3 hours each. That should take away some of the Board of Finance meetings where they double up in April. It
Right.
should streamline things like that, and ultimately, as a board, we're still gonna have at least 3 or 4 meetings where we're gonna just be together. Going through and making our cuts to the budget without the Board of Finance. So it's just for the presentation process. It's just for the directors and the outside organizations coming in and talk. Because the Board of Finance, as far as I've seen, have never, except for Steve attending our meetings, have never seen John Filchek and heard anything from NECOG. It's always us regurgitating what we knew.
And sometimes Amy and I know the answer.
Right.
But then there's a couple of times in those Board of Finance meetings where we'll look at each other and we'll kind of go, oh, darn it, I don't remember. Do you remember? No, I don't remember. Whereas if they had actually had the director in front of them, then hopefully they'd get a better answer.
Right.
That just seemed like a good opportunity to improve the process.
So you want the Board of Finance to participate.
Right, so,
So
I
that's
think-
gonna have to be a joint meeting,
Right,
Right.
yes.
without a doubt.
so this, obviously, we wanted to talk to you guys about it, because if you're not on board, then it dies.
Well,
Then
I'm
we would go to. Board of
I'm
Finance.
all for whatever streamlines it and moves it along.
Yeah,
Because in the last couple of budgets with us hybriding it, and recording it, the opportunity's been there.
yeah,
So the Board of Finance, either the school or here, has had an opportunity
sure,
to go in and review what both entities have done,
right,
which is great. And hopefully, and you're right, if they're vested in what we're doing and either participating in a live meeting or at least reading, watching
right,
the hybrid after it's recorded, they should be able to streamline their questions
right,
and get to the point.
sure. So
You would hope.
if, assuming you guys approve, then we would take
Present.
this to the next Board of Finance meeting, which would be, I think it's next week. Thursday of next week,
The 3rd Monday of the month.
21st, I think.
third,
think.
so do I have another week?
I think it's another week.
The third
So-
Thursday.
That's even better.
My
The
question,
21st.
I totally agree that we need some revision in how we review the budgets and how we process it. My question is, how much time have we spent in the past on, how many days have you scheduled? How much time, do you
8.
know?
8 meetings. And we had a couple extra. thrown
We always
in
throw
if
in
we
some
need to
hours,
cycle.
yes, just in
Yes,
case.
but how many hours do we actually spend with? I want to make sure that
It's
we're
difficult
allowing for enough
because
time.
What I looked through, I think it's plenty, because when I looked through the schedule from last year, there were so many times where we like, okay, we'll come back
Yeah,
Come back in
And
a half hour. come
30
back in-
minutes, 15 minutes, so I think that the blocking of time just wasn't efficient because we always had extra time. Whereas you get a room full of all the directors waiting to
they're all
present,
waiting in line to go and,
Yeah.
Right,
yes.
well, not in here necessarily.
But
because they
what-
can
but,
be online
yeah,
too,
but
like
But
we've
the
done it before.
departments,
sure,
So,
I
no,
like
definitely
that
more than
concept.
enough time.
I think I've said right along, we should be doing evening meetings so that we can invite the public in or have more people work during the day. I know sometimes I'm having to do them by Zoom as I'm driving or whatever, so I think that's a good. Having the buy-in from the Board of Finance, it will be very good to consult with them and to have them on board
Yeah, if
with
they're
it.
not on board, we can't do it at all.
No,
Right.
Well, we still can do what
Well,
we're gonna do.
right.
yes,
They'll still
We
be
can do it at night.
recorded.
Are you guys good at doing all the presentations at night?
I am. It works better for me.
I
I
have no
work.
problem with it.
Okay.
You know, even for some of the outside agencies that,
Mhm.
you know, we only have so much money that we allocate to some of them.
Right,
And I don't wanna say it's a formality, but it kind of gives us where they're at and what they're dealing with and an update on everything.
Yeah.
And instead of dragging them down, if you can do that through a Zoom meeting,
If they can
Right, and
attend
that's what
through
we've been
Zoom,
doing.
yeah,
it makes it a lot easier
yeah,
for
sure,
them.
sure,
Zoom has totally worked better for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
know there were a couple of instances last year where there was a question from the Board of Finance members about an
An
external
organization.
that we had to chase down after the fact.
Mhm.
So I think it would help out particularly there. I know Steve tends to really focus in on some of those outside agencies.
Yeah.
I don't see much of a change for us in the grand scheme.
Mhm.
Great.
You know, for us, it's just the timing when we're gonna do it. Because,
I'll get some dates for the next meeting that I had worked up in my head. To run by you guys. Maybe I'll have Marie send them ahead of time, so you can look at your calendars. Cause
yes,
I sort of Bill and I, based on what the school was doing, we pre-planned some dates that might work, so.
Yeah, because we had to work around their budget
Right.
sessions too.
Right.
yeah, cause that would be great. Once I get it on my calendar, then I know I can work around it. I won't commit. to
And
something
starting
else.
more like that first week, I think it was the 7th or the 8th of
Oh,
February, 6th or 8th or something like that. We were shooting for,
Of
to start. February,
February or March.
no, it was February.
Oh,
no,
It's March.
we do a
have
public
to-
presentation
That's.
Yeah, in
that's what I
March.
have.
first
Yeah.
week of
That's-
March,
I just changed that date.
Which was March 7th,
Yeah,
I
March
think.
7th.
right?
Yeah,
so do we start in February?
Yeah.
Or do we
Yes.
start earlier?
we started the
February.
last week of January
Yeah.
last year, but this.
That,
time
I
we're
think
just
it's the
gonna-
way the calendar fell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see how this plays out. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. We don't need to vote on it.
No, I mean,
No.
you know,
Just
if
not
you're
enough
looking at,
finances.
if you're looking at this, you know, the last week of January, first week of February, you're looking at the
Believe we're here.
29th
Yeah.
of January, so.
I
Yeah.
can't believe we're at this point. It seems like we just passed the budget.
So we can add it then to the.
Board of
Board of
Finance.
Finance.
Well, what we can do is, if we, you know, give them the options, it'll
Right.
be to their advantage
Mhm.
to formulate their questions,
Sure.
which would be great. Other than that, they still have the resource of the hybrid recording
Yeah.
to listen to
Right.
what, you know.
Yeah.
both
Hopefully
have
they'll
done.
participate either in, Zoom, even if they just sit in on Zoom and listen and formulate their
Well, they
questions
can,
or,
yeah, I mean.
yeah, I mean, that either way.
All right.
Thanks. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bill. All right, agenda item 13, request for funds to cover the elevator repair not to exceed 40,000, and this would be a request of the Board of Finance. As you recall, we found out that there had been a leak in the elevator mechanical room that we didn't know. It was seepage. Cannot be covered under insurance. Because I did look into that because there's a seepage and roof leak clause within the insurance policy that wouldn't allow it to be covered. So roughly we've gotten I've been working with John Noley. He's been super helpful. We got some quotes for the roof repair. That looks like it'll be around $3,700. The full panel, the electrical panel needs to be replaced. That's going to be roughly $1,800. And then the motor itself, I don't have that final estimate, but I was quoted approximately $30,000 for the motor. And all the hydraulic fluid has to be taken out because it's compromised because it
Pick up
has
around.
water in it. Yeah, and so they're supposed to be out here. So I added padding contingency of another 5,000.
What's in our contingency, Bill?
As
Mhm.
with the
Right
quotes that
now,
you're getting.
we have enough to.
Are
cover
you,
this. I'm
no,
on
I don't need to
just
see them.
under
I'm asking
60,000
about,
right now.
do we have a contract with an elevator company?
Yes,
This-
but they inspect it.
Yeah.
That's all
They
they
only
don't.
inspect
do
it,
the
because
inspection.
what I found at my previous employment is we actually had a couple of different elevator companies come out and give quotes, and they were very, very different. For
Okay,
different work that needed to be done, different things.
right,
Just throwing that out there. I'm not an elevator person. I know nothing about it, just what I had gained from
Mhm.
experience in the
Okay.
past. Very different.
So we'll request up to 40,000 from the Board of Finance.
Right,
The
and-
funds to come from where they
Where-
determine are appropriate. But according to Bill, we've got enough in a contingency, that they just
What did we
transfer
put
the
in?
funds.
and hopefully we come up with a lower
We
bid.
put 65-ish in the budget, but
Right.
we've used a little bit of it. I want to say we're in the high 50s or low 60s right now.
Yeah.
If I remember right. I should have looked it up before.
Well, we used
No, it's not a big
some of it before the budget even.
Right, that 65
Oh,
is
that
net.
one. Yeah.
The-
So it was
Yeah,
70
we're
to
using-
75,
What's
was
the
it?
other
Yeah.
thing? I can't remember. what
Something to
the
do
thing
with
No.
ACO. If I remember right.
During the
Oh, yeah,
budget season,
Yes.
but what was, I can't remember what
Can't remember.
what was with us.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion. We request from the Board of Finance up to $40,000 to cover the elevator repairs.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion on this topic? Okay, all in favor of approving the request from the Board of Finance for $40,000 to cover the cost of elevator repair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes.
Mm.
All right, 2006 ambulance. This is a hot commodity. It's wanted by the ACO. It is wanted by emergency management, and it was wanted by
Emergency
recreation.
management?
100-watt radios,
Oh,
and what is ACO gonna do with 100-watt radios?
oh, no, I thought you wanted the ambulance.
Great no, yeah, we do,
Ah.
great communication vehicle for fires or anything, for fire departments.
So we have the report from Joe. Which is what I know you guys had requested when I brought this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it's up to almost $6,000 in repairs.
Joe's not giving it a high stamp of approval as a
That's what I-
reliable vehicle.
That's what I was concerned about.
My biggest concern, I mean, I wanna help the staff. I wanna do what's right for the staff, but my biggest concern is as far as, sorry, Aaron. But I've told you this, I've heard it's not good in the snow.
It's a rear wheel drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 It's
not
gas,
all-wheel
it's not diesel. And
No, I
I
think this one is diesel, isn't it?
I think
the
they,
diesel.
no, I don't think this
Yeah, it
is.
is diesel.
It is
This one
diesel
is?
Yeah. Community always bought diesel.
No, they didn't. I know the new one was not diesel. That
That
was
may
gas.
be the last one, but the previous, they always bought diesel.
So. Is it gonna be a money pit?
Well, that's a fear. I mean, it's sat for 2 years.
And that's
That's a
where the
concern.
damages come in. The
Yeah.
brakes, the rotors, the sitting not being used, it just deteriorates the tires, dry rot from sitting there.
And there's no place to keep it in a garage, right?
No, the garage is already.
Full.
All right, let me ask. I'm just gonna ask a question.
Oh,
I just wanna ask a question
Yeah.
to Steve. Is there any funding out there for you guys that you can get?
For vehicle? For vehicle repairs, no,
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
no.
mhm. Aaron, what were you gonna say?
Repair,
Oh,
stuff
sorry.
like that, yeah.
Aaron, what were you gonna say?
Is it possible to take
case.
the radios out of the ambulance?
Yeah, it's possible to take them out.
Can we just put them in the Hummer?
You can,
Does the Hummer get used?
yeah.
And what was the other department that wanted it?
Oh, recreation had.
Oh,
bids,
okay.
Everybody, but. I mean,
How would you use it, Aaron? How much would you use it?
I drive the van all the time now, all the time. I spent a lot of time cleaning it. I still think the floor needs to be ripped out because it's still moldy underneath. I did look underneath a little bit, lifted a little corner. It definitely needs to get ripped out. But there's all these storage compartments on both sides of the ambulance. And it's a good height for dogs to be able to jump into the back of it. It's open, it's not scary like the back of the van where I have to pick up dogs to put them in the back. But all those storage compartments, the amount of supplies that I actually should have in my vehicle, which a lot of them can be donated, like even a tennis racket, for instance, if I have a bat flying around, I could use a tennis racket to hold a bat down so I can get it tested. I don't have anywhere to store these things in the van. And this is the thing that I brought up last time. I have all those storage compartments in the ambulance. If I had that available to me where I could put all of these little items like the tennis ball containers to put a bat that's in someone's bedroom, or I could put the tennis racket or the net or a catch pole or the dog crates or a cat carrier or a cat trap. I can put all these stuff in cabinets so that way when I'm driving, they're not flying everywhere. Right now they're flying everywhere. They slide. I had the catch pole slide under my feet while I was driving because it went underneath my seat. I have a very small area where I can fit 2 dog crates, keep the dogs separate from me and them, whereas the ambulance has that big wall divider right behind the driver's seat. It's just like it's really equipped as an emergency vehicle, and a lot of things I get called on. I mean, Amy went on a call with me. I needed a bunch of supplies for that call that I went with Amy. We had to move a dog that was deceased for 3 months. And really needed a hazmat suit of some sort, a mask. I needed gloves. I needed to have trash bags or contractor bags available. I needed all these supplies or a tote, and I had none of these things because they just fly around my van. I can't have that stuff flying around my van. So unless I have some kind of organization of special bins stacked up in my van, that's why I really wanted the ambulance, to have all the stuff prepared and ready to go for when I have an emergency.
I have no doubt that it's an ideal vehicle for you. It really is. It's heated in the back and everything. It's perfect. But my concern is that we put $6,000 in it and it doesn't last 6 months. And there's no guarantee.
From what I heard, it was just the rocker panel and the tires need to be replaced. What were the other? I'm just curious as to what the other damages were. What else is wrong with it?
Well, the brakes,
The brakes are very important.
yeah.
Okay.
Safety things.
Basic service, motor transmission, rear end radiator
Shocks.
fluid exchange. Shocks,
Tires.
right rear wet, said tires were dry
Shock,
rotting.
shock is leaking.
Miscellaneous wipers, cabin filter, plug-in battery charging system not operational. And then the body rot. So rear springs and spring hangers are in good condition. Some rust is forming on spring hangers. It should not be an issue at this time. So 1, 2.
So where would the funding come from?
That was gonna be my question.
Aaron, for paying for the repairs, I mean,
in order to make it functioning and last a long time, it'd probably have to be the dog fund, unless I pulled it from somewhere else. I could run a donation and see if I can run some kind of campaign to get donations to get it fixed up for animal control.
Aaron, what other, because you're familiar and worked in animal control in a different town, and you know a lot of animal control officers now. What do they use for vehicles?
A lot of them do use cargo vans. Some of them have pickup trucks, but they all have, Mansfield, for instance. I work for Mansfield. Behind the driver's seat, literally right behind the driver's seat, just like the ambulance, there's a wall there. So like you can put an animal back there if you need to, but there's also space in the back where you can put crates. So there's a space in between, similar to what we currently have, but there's no wall behind the driver's seat. Then there's a bunch of organizers right next to your chair where you can have all your paperwork. In the back is that open area where you can, if I have to pick up a goat, let's say hypothetically, you can put a goat in the middle of it without putting it in a crate. And then above that, there's a cargo rack above that has all the nets and everything. Above the driver's seat, there's another cargo shelf rack where you can put all of your gloves and your ticket book and everything else up there, your flashlight. So there's things that are designed to store all these things, whereas my van literally just has a metal wall, just one metal wall that has no storage compartments whatsoever.
Right.
So like if we were to try to rig the cargo van to be like that, we could do it. I just don't think it'd be cheap. I think it would take me a while to find the right person to manufacture something to build all of those things that would need to be put in the van.
They make header boards for cargo vans. That's very.
So Aaron, when we reopened the dog pound, there was no vehicle, we had nothing, so we have made
Right.
progress.
Right. Well, for a while there was no dog pound. It was just MECOG. So
Exactly, that's what I'm
Which
saying, and
means
that
there
was
was
only
no-
4 years ago,
which
so we've
means there
made
was
huge
no-
progress.
Which means there was no animal service.
Yes, exactly, now we have a great service. And these things we can tweak out, we just have to figure out and be creative how to make it happen.
You still got the seats in the back of that van?
no,
There.
but the
No,
if
I
I
didn't know
do,
they were taking
if
out.
we don't move forward with the ambulance, I really need that metal
Okay.
slide
Yeah.
where the bench goes. It needs to get taken out because I can't even put dog crates there because the ground is unlevel.
Okay.
If the back end's wide open, you need a header board.
Mhm.
That divides the front to the back. And any van that is not equipped with back seats is required to have a header board
Mhm.
by law. But that's just that's not a big expense item. You know, they can be found,
But I think maybe,
and even some of the
hmm,
shelving and stuff possibly can be found. I'm just giving avenues that there is ways out there to do some of this. To make it more user for and the back mat or whatever it is where the stuff is underneath.
well, it's worried that it was mold, right?
Yeah, so you rip up the old one, you put
So
down,
this was Joe's estimate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
so we
Should
can
take
adapt
it
her.
and have it estimated by, and
I don't know that I would go that far. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to send it to an ambulance company, potentially.
For what?
For any
well, some of this,
repairs.
like,
header board?
tires and stuff
No,
like this,
no.
no, I'm talking about. Who would do the work on this, I guess. Some of it is, tires, and that's basic, and windshield wipers, I mean, I think I can do that. Certain things, but there's some of it, like the rocker panels and stuff like that.
Right.
That's gonna have to be done at a body shop, I would.
Well, it depends on the extent of what the rust is. If it isn't structural, it's not gonna be a problem. Because you're looking at body mounts and stuff, that's where the problem comes in. The brakes can be done at any, I mean, our highway department can do the brakes. And calipers,
Mhm.
they do them on the big trucks. There's nothing that has to go out.
Right.
To an ambulance service, because
Well,
usually-
no, it said for maybe some of the electrical issues.
The
that-
wiring.
If there's
Yeah,
a
it was-
problem with
He said
that.
it's a wiring nightmare.
Mhm.
But some of that can be just eliminated or not used. So,
Well, it's
It-
not getting any better just sitting there.
no,
I think if we could figure out a way to fund it.
well, it's not, what's defective now is not gonna get any worse. The brakes are the brakes and they need to be gone through, they're not gonna. We do it more of a disservice if we did the brakes and then waited 6 months and did something else without putting it on the road. If you're gonna do it, you do it all at once. Getting back to you guys. What can you use out of it?
Well. A lot easier to get in and out of for one, and
Then the
going
Hummer.
for a fire scene. We could use it, but we can use the Hummer too, I mean, just. Don't rush us to get there,
What do you got for radios in the Hummer?
the high band, low band,
The wattage,
50.
so that would be an upgrade, because she don't need them.
Oh, we could always sell the Hummer. Buy something else. How much is going for big money?
You could actually, if that's why I was asking if it gets.
Is
used
that
a
ours
lot.
now completely, or is
Yeah.
Putnam still got their hands in it? No, okay. Because they were doing
I need a new.
visual that they were still around.
That thing is pretty rough when you go for a ride. We'll take you for a ride if you want. You can't
like
hear
to.
yourself think.
Yeah, but it was made to
You
go
have to
through
wear
the
headphones.
deserts.
You
Yeah.
can't hear the radios.
Kind of cool though.
The
So,
tires have a tire inside the tire and
Nobody will change them,
you can't touch.
So what's
the
that?
tires.
huh?
They have the ballistic tires on it.
Split rims?
No,
There's a tire inside the tire is what Joe was.
So who would buy
describing.
something like that, or was that a joke to put it up?
No, I wasn't a joke. Oh, collect would buy it.
Oh, you got military
What?
collectors.
Collectors would buy it?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God, yes.
And what kind of price?
I don't know. I have to look it up. It's an 86.
Joe had actually said he had hoped you'd sell it. Can you tell him to sell it? That's what he told me.
But if you could sell it and get
He
yourselves a
thought
vehicle, that
20,000.
would be
You know
functional.
what?
20,000,
Probably.
Oh. Oh,
but in today's market, you're not gonna get too much for 20.
No,
okay.
we've seen them as high as 40. They're making a nice vehicle. Price. Something you can talk in.
Hmm.
Can I
Uh,
just,
But there's an option there.
Yeah,
can I
ideally,
just ask a question?
like an expedition or something like that.
Yeah.
Even if it came from surplus.
An expedition?
Yeah, something like that, so
So you
you
can
could
transfer
transport
people
people
and
during
everything.
storms if you had to.
Four-wheel drive.
You can go out on, on patrol if there's a bad storm and you have.
How about a four-door Tahoe? We'll talk after the meeting. Seriously.
Aaron, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna ask how often emergency management needs to use the Hummer. Like how often they would use the ambulance.
Because how often we have storms and incidents. You can't predict something like that.
I'm not so sure that I don't know.
Uh,
I'm not
it,
sold on I'm sorry, Aaron, I'm just not sold on.
it comes down to the funding, where we're gonna get that from. And and how much can we do in-house on the repairs?
Right.
It's got 91,000 miles on it.
On a diesel motor, that's not a lot.
That's
Well, you're
nothing.
also adding you're adding another thing to, right now, we're without a mechanic still,
I was gonna ask.
No,
that.
these are all things that we're looking at.
and everything's constantly backing up. in the shop.
So. Again, right now, while it's deteriorating, it's not. In the grand scheme. Like it says, once you start doing brake repairs and they sit around, that's when you start doing damage again, because you just start to cycle over. So. We can look at this further, find out where we're gonna get the money from, what's available. See how much we can do in-house when we do get a mechanic. In the meantime, we still can look for a header board for her van.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, maybe we can look at how we could retro that,
Yeah, the header board for
And-
that,
make the repairs necessary so that it's functional for her.
more functional than what she's got.
How many miles does the van have?
90, 100?
So, I know.
Aaron?
I wouldn't
do you
worry.
know? Or is it 107? I don't know why that number
think
just
it
stood
was-
out to me.
Okay,
Beat.
no, the reason why I'm saying, one thing about those Ford or Chevy cargo vans. If you go out to the auctions, you go out what's on the road, they're going 300,000 miles, and I'm not exaggerating. And they're still bringing decent money.
97,000.
97.
Yeah, because of how bulletproof they are and
Yeah.
and how limited supply those type of vans are. They are still bringing decent money,
Mhm.
without a doubt.
I mean, my feeling somewhat is if we could retrofit it and do the repairs necessary, Aaron, at $6,000 and make that van what you need it to be. It might be more beneficial than putting it into the ambulance and not knowing what we might face later on down the road.
What year is that Ford? Do we know?
The van?
I don't know what the van.
You had to
is.
know, Aaron?
One of them is a 2013 and one of them is a 2016. I think I have the 13.
Okay.
I think the only reason I think I have the 13 is because I know that the DPW guys have trigger windows and I have crank windows. So I'm pretty
Oh.
sure
Yeah, they
that's-
kept the actually the nicer of the two.
What about putting the ambulance up for sale? Somebody might wanna chassis that or something, you know what I
The
mean?
person that I would contact would be Chris Bowen out in Eastford.
Right,
I forget what his business is, but he's ambulance.
Yeah,
Eastern
he's the
Fire
one.
Club.
Eastford Fire Equipment.
but we gotta take the radios out.
Yeah, you don't want the radios to go with the. I mean.
So
somebody-
Either
they
way,
can
whenever
re-chassis it
Either
or
way, yeah.
something. They put a new box on the back.
It is?
They can.
Oh, they can.
Like,
Yeah.
Like we sold the Hummer, the radios and everything would come out of it.
Well, I know when I spoke to Logan Taylor about it, he said people also buy them and pay decent money because they retrofit them and turn them into campers.
Campers, I've heard
which is
that too.
Crazy, but.
But maybe we could try to sell it and.
Well,
recoup
ambulances
and
are a
take the
little,
money.
ambulances are tough to come by right now.
They're almost impossible, and
Yeah.
there's a 2-year wait for a new one. So it's a possibility that it would sell for enough to fix the van.
Fix the van.
Yeah.
And if you sell the Hummer, we could pool the funds.
Yeah.
Fix
And
the van.
And
for
everybody
every-
gets, and you guys get
and maybe you get a new
a SUV.
SUV of sorts, and then you put the radios in there. And then everybody gets a little bit of something.
Yeah.
So,
So Aaron, give us a little time.
I would be good with that too, and I can reach out to other animal controls and see where they get their stuff done, how they
ooh,
outfit it.
good.
Yes,
That would be helpful.
yeah, so give us a little bit of time, and now that we know what the bigger picture looks like, we can start to work on it.
All right. Moving on. Agenda item, oh my goodness, 15. Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development Grant Resolution. So this is the Community Investment Fund grant, the $3.8 million grant that we did not receive in September. It's opened back up again, and we need a resolution in order to apply for the grant. Again,
The HVAC?
no, this is for, we did that.
I was
the
gonna
last
say, I
meeting.
thought
We
we
did
just
this
it.
before.
This
Is
is,
it?
we did it before.
We have
Community
to renew
Investment
it.
Fund. It is, yes, we have to do the resolution again for the application. It is for the Main Street reconstruction.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Um,
read it earlier.
the redevelopment of Oscar Swanson Park, hopefully, with more of a memorial
It's
park.
all in,
and
it's all in
some
that
of
grant
the-
request.
Some of the additional funds that were needed for 65 Main, so it's all associated with this downtown area. So,
This is just a motion then.
Yeah.
The heck did I do with it? It gave me too much stuff.
this is what it was. I think you
Oh,
already.
it is that? Okay. Too much stuff to look at.
Uh,
But I was thinking that I was.
I'll make a motion a resolution through the Department of Economic and Community Development, certified resolution of the governing body. And I'll quickly read it to make it quick. I'm not gonna read where Renee signs. Whereas pursuant to section 112 of Public Act 21-111, the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development is authorized to extend financial assistance for economic development projects. And whereas it is desirable and in the public's interest that the town of Thompson, Connecticut, make an application to the state for $3,888,601 in order to undertake the CIF Round 4 grant project titled Renewing the Fabric of North Grovenordale, and to execute an assistance agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Selectmen of the town of Thompson that it's cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites of the state financial assistance imposed by section 112 of the Public Act 111, that the filing of an application for the state financial assistance by the town of Thompson in the amount of $3,888,601 is hereby approved, and that Tyra Penn, Director of Planning and Development, is directed to execute and file such application with the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development to provide such additional information to execute such other documents as may be required to execute an assistance agreement with the state of Connecticut for state financial assistance if such an agreement is offered, to execute any amendments, decisions, and revisions thereto, and to act as the authorized representative of the town of Thompson. That is the resolution.
And makes that motion?
Yes.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion?
Is this a competitive grant that?
This. Here is.
Oh, yes.
It's not a
It
guarantee.
is. It is not a guarantee. What the CIF fund, and let me apologize for the background noise. I'm at the gym and I don't have my headset, so I can't screen out the noise. The CIF fund is limited to roughly 60 of the 169 towns who will qualify either as being alliance districts or distressed communities. We're an alliance district. My prior submission was unsuccessful, but it is the policy of DECD on this program to give executive summaries with feedback so that applicants can tighten up their proposals. So I received that and have responded to their comments essentially, which were actually not that bad. It was actually a very favorable executive summary overall. So I'm feeling, reasonably good about it. But yes, it is definitely a competitive grant program. There's going to be a total of 8 rounds. This is round number 4.
Any other questions, thoughts, comments?
It is substantively the same proposal that you guys did the resolution for back in June. Just again, responding to DECD's comments, some very specific things that they wanted to know more about that I went in and answered more fully.
Okay, any other thoughts, questions, comments? All in favor of approving the grant resolution as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes. Agenda.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Terry, you too. Agenda item 16. This was brought up to me by Lars and Joe the other day. And actually the crazy thing was it was brought up to me by Alvin Hill before last winter. And it sat on my desk because I kept thinking, oh, I got to bring that up. So when Joe and Lars brought it up, I thought, well, let me just bring it to the board for consideration. No decisions tonight. Maybe it's something we send along to the ordinance review committee. Change to the ordinance or addition to the ordinance for the clearance of town roads for purposes of snow removal. So in Woodstock, they advertise because they let people know that no automobile, truck, vehicle, nor any personal property of any kind or description shall be parked, placed, or deposited, left, or allowed to remain within the limits of any town road so as in any way to prevent, impede, hinder, delay, or interfere with the removal of snow and the plowing of path or paths throughout the snow on such roads. So obviously all it is it would be an ordinance that would cover things that were left in the road. Cars, trash receptacles, that inhibited the ability of our staff to clear the roads during impending snowstorms. What Woodstock allows for is for the removal of such items and at the expense of the owner who left it there. It would, like I said, it was brought to my attention once by Alvin Hill, and it was brought to my attention by Joe and Lars just the other day before the agenda was written. So I thought I would bring it to the board and see what your thoughts are and if it's something you'd want to pursue. So we already have the ordinance for clearing of sidewalks and roofs. This would add to that ordinance or expand that ordinance. So
my question would be, how often are they having to have cars towed away, or is this an issue in Thompson that there are vehicles left on the side of the street that they can't plow around?
Once in a while.
yeah,
Once in a while?
yeah. Probably every snowstorm, there's at least 1 or 2, but they just work around it. So.
There's problems with this under the towing statute. I believe it's 14-150. If I remember correctly from my working days, you can get a vehicle towed, which is great. Then it comes down to the recovery.
Right.
The tower wants to get paid. And if the tower is not going to get paid, then there's an avenue where they can petition that it was illegally removed, conditions. It's a whole rigmarole when it comes to towing. And John, I believe you know exactly what I'm talking
Have
about,
to have a special board for.
a review board.
Oh, okay.
Towing disputes.
Yeah,
Do you think Woodstock has that?
I doubt it.
Okay.
It sounds good, it's in the ordinance, but it comes down to the
So
enforcement
enforcement.
aspect of it.
So enforcement once
know,
again.
You know, what do we do with cleaning of the sidewalks along Riverside
Well, I
Drive?
knock on the doors.
No, but you know what I'm saying, you know.
That's about it, and ask them respectfully. to do
Yeah,
it.
you ask somebody to do it if they're capable, but if you've got the senior citizen that's not capable,
Right,
you know, what do you do?
Yeah.
You get
Can't
fined,
penalize
you
them
know?
for, yeah.
And,
Right.
you know, and if you look at where some of these cars are parked, they're in our villages right over here.
Mhm.
And what are we dealing with? A lot of the economically challenged situations
right.
or lack of parking.
So
So
adding to their,
it could pose
Demise
some
could be-
problems, so I would be hesitant without having all the answers on this.
Well, like I said, it was really just, it was brought to my attention. I thought it was worthy of at least bringing to the board. If I'll talk to Joe and Lars and see if they want to share any of their thoughts and experiences, maybe,
I mean, I'd
or
reach
maybe
out,
they'll understand.
I'd reach out to Swan and Woodstock and
Yeah.
ask them how they deal with it.
Mhm. I feel like it's probably just one of those. It would be an enforcement.
Nightmare.
Well, we just wouldn't enforce it.
So why put it as an ordinance? then?
exactly, why go through
Well,
the,
hearing what you're saying now, like I said,
Yeah.
well, Woodstock has it, right?
but it sounds like it could be more of a nightmare than it would be a benefit.
Yep. I'm okay with that. All right. Any other business to bring before the board?
I have nothing.
All right, moving on to tax refunds.
No citizens
citizen-
comment.
Oh, citizen comments. Oh, almost forgot. Thank you. Citizen comments, Ms. Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, Road. I noticed that the minutes that you voted on and approved also were not posted to the website.
Oh,
I'm assuming those were from a meeting on November 21st. There are no minutes posted.
okay. We will
And
take
then-
care of that.
And then on the requests for ordinances controlling cats, I would love to be able to replay the selectmen's meeting that we had several months ago, where Suzanne talked about how she absolutely was opposed to that. I am as well. And the feral cat problem is not that bad. I talked about the issue that we had here at one time. We spayed one queen, and after that, the problem went away. So this is not the problem that it's being made to be. And I absolutely oppose anything to do with trying to make ordinances around cat ownership. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Citizen comments live? All right. Oh. Yes,
It's Sally,
yes,
308 East Thompson Road. Regarding the multiple years, including over 2 decades of the tax reduction, what strikes me as interesting is that those people that are on Medicare, during their retirement, when they're on a fixed income, they're going to be subsidizing this project. And we have many business owners in town that are of legal retirement age, and they continue to run their businesses, and they're going to continue to pay taxes that subsidize somebody getting a tax exemption. Many people that will be subsidizing this with their taxes won't even live long enough to see when this business begins paying full taxes, if it is successful. And I think numbers should be done on that. And I think it's not a good idea. I think it's pretty sad. And the other thing was trying to bring the Board of Finance to HEAL. HEEL. Suggesting that they should be going to the budget meetings. They are elected by the citizens as checks and balances, as an independent group. And the people, the directors and the organizations that come in to make their case for money. In fact, I heard somebody say there on the board that it's pro forma. It's just going through the motions. It's as though the organizations assume they're going to get the money as opposed to finding out what their performance is and the improvements they're making and what we're getting for our money. But the people, the directors, the people that run the organizations, they're all being paid and they're not elected. And they ought to go to the Board of Finance meetings. I think it's upside down. And I don't think it's wise nor good mechanics of government to expect another elected body to attend those meetings. And I'm curious to know when Mr. Stiglitz mentioned, we discussed, who's we? The royal we, who was that? And I just think it's a poor idea, and it should be kept separate, and you can put some rigor into it, and people ought to show up and make their case if they want to continue to receive funding. And I think redemption fees at the pound are a very bad idea. You're going to end up with people leaving animals there. So, but the main thing was on the subsidizing the taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? All right, hearing and seeing none, we will move on to tax refund. All right, I make a motion that we refund VCFS Auto Leasing Company $549.17. Toyota Lease Trust $280.80, $521.66, $465.35, $417.82, $526.50, and $266.94. And then Richard A. Bono, $91.16 for a total of $3,119.40 in tax refunds.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on these refunds? All in favor of approving the refunds as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 8:57 p.m.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.